zoning. Excited.
No thing.
People ready to
It's running
donate
about
to the project.
660,000. That's
I
good.
don't know how much, but you
But
know.
the downside is we spent about 1.6. Four. It would, personally,
At 11 or Friday.
this place,
Wednesday at 11, it's at the chamber conference.
because we couldn't, well, we functioned about half.
But you don't want.
You should have an email.
I did, I
You
did.
should, I mean, I'm not saying.
I did read through it.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, 8:30, we're ready.
Yep, go ahead.
Got us recording?
Yep.
Okay. Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, March 3rd to order, and have you raise for the pledge allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a new face with us this morning, so that's good. Roll call, please.
Robertson,
Yes.
Obermeyer,
Present.
Burgess,
Here.
Bowman,
Yes.
Gross.
Present. All right. Open meeting law is posted in the back of the room as well as outside of our chambers in the hallway. Proof of publication for this meeting was in the newspaper February 26th and on the York County website February 18. First up, review and approve the minutes from our February 17 board meeting.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Perfect. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Burgess,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Obermeyer,
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. And adoption of today's agenda.
And move for approval of today's agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Obermeyer,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. All right, officials forum. Officials. Good morning.
Good morning. Greg Heine, York County Roads. Little public information. Motor graders are delayed a bit this morning with the fog. We try to keep them off the road to keep it safe until they get about a half-mile visibility. But we're taking advantage of the softer ground now and getting some of the rumble bars cut out of the roads. Trailer / truck painting is coming to a close, all looking really good, and we're beginning to haul from the pits now.
Perfect.
Construction season, we're getting her started up. First one we've got on the docket is we're gonna finish off Road 12 from G to H on the east end there. Then we're planning to go to Road E, 12 to 13 to replace a culvert. And then Road 11 between S and T, we're doing some bridge deck work on that and fixing some drainage issues there. So that's our first one's on the docket anyhow. And this coming Monday, we'll be switching to our 4 10-hour days. So you won't see us on Friday as much.
Any questions for Greg? Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Other four, I don't see any other officials out there. Barry, anything today?
Not today, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on then, public comment. Anybody from the public that wishes to speak?
Lord Peterson, 514 Road 13. My address is York, but I'm a proud resident of the Bradshaw area and will always be. Anyway, I mentioned to you guys, I don't remember if it was last meeting or meeting before or something, about a possibility because, well, roads had come up and how people are talking about there's so many bad pieces of road, and some of you mentioned you were out, saw some of them bad pieces of road. And I mentioned something about making a new semi-division in the roads department, that would be their job to go out and fix those spots. So then when the real maintainer guys, it would, you know, they wouldn't have to take their time to try to fix those, so they can keep going on their own roads. And discussions over the last couple of weeks with some people, and all of these came up by accident, but the roads came up, and I mentioned a couple of people, and there are a couple of people that gripe about the roads a lot, and I mentioned what I was thinking of this division to fix certain spots, and they both kind of said, well, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea. Just a thought.
Thank you. Others from the public? Seeing no one else get up, we will move on down through our agenda. We will have an executive session. We'll do that at the end of our meeting today. I don't know that we have general assistance and funding transfers. So next up, review and approve the payroll and vendor claims for today. Pretty straightforward this time. There wasn't a whole lot of jumped out at myself anyway.
Other than the transfers and then the purchase of 2 vehicles. See, the sheriff's department,
There was,
there are 2 cars come in. I would make a motion to approve the payroll and vendor claims for today.
Thank you.
Second.
Perfect. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. Okay, I don't see Lori, so let's go down to the next one for now. Discuss an act on change order for the jail fire suppression. So this was, came out of the fire suppression project in the jail. There was a valve, I believe, that they found needed to be replaced. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Exterior PIV valve
Okay.
on the outside of the courthouse that they found that felt like there was some leakage in there and needed to be replaced. So when contacted a couple of weeks ago, told them, this is a formality for us to go through this step to approve a change order, but just go ahead and keep moving with the project because we do want to see it come to a conclusion. So that is the
$1,425.
Right, and Steve at Davis Design felt like it was definitely a good price for what they were to do. So, it, like I say, it's just kind of us putting the final stamp on it. And just on that project, the soffy steel for the gymnasium is in. And as with all contractors, it seems like when you have them here and they work and we keep them going, it's good. And then when the project slows and they go get on another project, that's a little harder to get them back. So we're in the process of getting them back to get this one buttoned up and finished up. So I hadn't heard any time frame yet from him, but I know the valve was ordered and the soffit steel's in. So it's just us putting the signage or having the chairman sign. So unless there's any other questions on it, I would make a motion that we allow the chairman to sign the change order for the fire suppression PIV valve at York County.
Would second that as well.
Okay, perfect. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Obermeyer,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. All right. Okay, so we have here, not sure if Lori was planning to join us or not. Let's see here. There's a agreement that requires the board's approval for her to sign. Should have been included in the packet. We can go ahead and move on down and see if Lori's gonna show up to give us a little bit more background on what this agreement is for DHHS service agreement. So let's go ahead and move on down to discuss zoning regulations. I don't know that this will need to be a real long discussion today. I did want to put it on here just to kind of make sure that everybody's got the information they need as we do look forward to diving in and bringing solar regulations back to the forefront. I know Deb's been having some meetings. There's some more meetings set up this week, I believe, for her to meet with different individuals. How do you feel on your research and where you're at?
I'm learning a lot.
No,
so.
good. Good.
I think I'm catching up, but I don't know that I can be caught up, not having heard all the conversations that you all have heard. So.
Very good.
But I'm getting to the point where I have a feel for what I'm hearing. It seems to be a theme, so.
As that has been going on, do you have any questions for the board right now that are pressing that you're wondering about, or?
Not right now, no, I can't think of any right
Sure.
now unless
Yep.
conversation brings
Yeah,
something.
for sure. Anybody else got thoughts right now?
Yes, Deb, do you have all the copies of the approved regulations set forth by the zoning board, as well as what this board did, I think, almost 2 years ago now? Do you have those copies of those regulations?
Approved zoning regulations,
So the ones on the website.
the proposed ones?
The proposed ones that the zoning board sent to us
I
for
do,
approval.
yes. Mhm. I got this from Nate,
Okay.
from the zoning office.
I got a couple comments. I'm of the mind that we should get this done at some point in the near future. So I actually went through and I sort of completed all the different things that I wanted to get done. And I have put together a draft and those down the line, and I'll email this out. And I also have extra copies if anyone wants, from the public. But, the way that I'll be working with these is as soon as there's a discuss and act on the agenda, I will be doing it in 2 amendments. And one will be to sort of the regular restructuring, and that would be certain number of sections from here. And then the rest of it would be the controversial parts, if you will. The big solar project, the big setbacks on that would be a whole separate amendment that I would want to do next, so that way we could fully make sure that we discuss as a board. Because the setbacks in there are maybe what I think they should be, but that might not be what we end up on a compromise. So I think that and this is based obviously on the Marvin Planning and Consulting, and then the things we've discussed that we thought would be issues, such as the decommissioning. Clearly, that's been a big one, as well as noise and other things like that. So I've got this whole draft, and then I figure I wanted to get it out right now, so everyone would have a chance to look at it, well in advance of any action taken. But I would do, the motions I would make would be to, when it is for action, would be to substitute, the beginning sections 1501, 1502, 1503, 1504, 1505, and 1513 with sections 1501, 1502, 1503, 1504, 1505, and 1508 from this revised one. It basically says most of the same things, sometimes a little bit stronger on certain things I thought we might have missed, but in 4 or 5 pages instead of 20. So it should be easier to read through as well. And then sections 1506 and 1507 are the ones that include those setbacks for the larger projects. Both class 2 and class 3, I've simplified it to 3 classes, which we've also talked about before. And yeah, so that's what I've been working on putting together. And then I guess obviously if there's any mistakes or anything, and if you see any, let me know. If I see any, I'll let you guys know and make sure that you have I'll email you with whatever the updated one is. But
Joe, is this you had put forth you had sent something to us last year. Is this very similar to what you had sent forth to us then?
it's the same like ideas essentially, but actually like in like a actual draft rather
Okay.
than like the last one was kind of just comments, what do we want to do here? Here's what I propose we do. And this is what I'll be making a motion on next time we have like a action item for this. So I just wanted to make sure everyone has it, and because I figure it's time to actually do something rather than just sit around and say, well, this, that, whether or not it's even related to, what we're trying to do, which is actually protect the county and protect our residents and the health and safety and whatever else, while also protecting our private property rights. So
So when you said at the start, you said something about amendments, you're just meaning this is what you'd like to see adopted?
yes. So yeah, what I'm saying is I would like to turn the proposed one into this one essentially.
Right.
And that would be in 2 blocks of amendments. It would be, the first one would just be to replace those sections. That's basically restructuring it into 3 classes, whatever else. And then the second one would be finalizing those requirements for the class 2 and class 3, or in the currently proposed one, that would be class 3 and 4, or whatever else, class 2, 3, 4, I guess technically, because there's 4 classes, as you know, in the proposed one right now. So
So I think when we get to that point, Joe, we won't need to make any amendments to it. We just have to adopt.
Yeah.
Because they're just proposed to us.
oh yeah,
We
okay.
just have to figure out what it is this board
Well, yeah, I
agrees
know we don't
on
have to amend like
and
by
adopt
resolution.
it.
I was
Right.
just wondering if we had to like, since it was before us, if we had to make amendments before we passed it as a resolution, because if it's like, I guess if we hadn't even adopted yet, then
Right.
we wouldn't have to go through that process, but
Well,
same thing either way.
we tried to at one meeting and then we changed it to the
Yeah.
next one, obviously. Okay. Thank you, Joe. I think you put a lot of time into that. I know that I kept what you had sent before. So I'll get this put in its place.
Oh, there's a couple other things I added. I don't exactly remember what it was before, but I know that on this one, I changed it for the decommissioning and stuff. That has to be down to 4 feet deep before they can leave anything in, like wires or whatever else. So some counties do 3, some do 4. I kind of erred on the side of caution on that one or whatever. And then for battery storage, I basically, like 3 different parts, just said that that's not part of this. And the conditional use permit for this will not be a conditional use permit for battery, because we've heard some disinterest in that. So I figured don't even want to tackle that at the moment. Just try to get this. It's already taken us a little while. So those are kind of the 2 major things. I borrowed, for the decommissioning and removal, I borrowed a little bit of language from Lancaster County, because they had it enumerated in such a way that I thought Makes sense. Although I will say Lancaster said you only had to have the like escrow account or whatever you choose as the sort of security. They said it had to be ready in 15 years. I changed that down because, why not? Because that's one of our concerns, sort of, is the decommissioning. So. And there are extra copies if anyone else wants to see. So, but yeah, tried to base it off of the Marvin Planning and Consulting and the notes from OPPD as well as from what we've talked about.
I think that to add to what Joe was talking about there is what he's putting forward is
And there's
the pieces that we know that we're gonna really agree on, get them out of the way. If we agree that we wanna go down to
The
3
reasons.
instead of 4 classes and how those are categorized, or, one piece in here that I have is any commercial and or industrial land, our corridors that we have our interstate, those should really have some setbacks that are very similar to our structural setbacks.
Yeah, that's what it has for us, is it just follows, if it's not specifically laid out in the specific setbacks of that class, then it will just go to whatever the, zoning setbacks are for that district, yeah. I made sure to put that language in there, I don't even know if that's necessary, but just to make sure you cannot, interpret it in any other way, essentially. And so then, yeah, and that would work regardless of what we end up choosing for the setbacks of the second sort of more controversial vote, if you will. That would still be in effect, because that's in the general provisions, which is something that I would. And that's also part of what shortens the document. And I don't know if you saw, but there's another page, I don't remember if that was what I handed out, but there's another page that just had all the numbers in a list. And that's not part of the draft, that's just to show what's in there. So you can kind of see what the numbers are, and if you agree with them or not.
I'd send that out too, because that's.
Yes, oh, I will, yep, for sure. Because that makes it, just to make sure you have all the numbers, so you don't have to dig through even though it is a lot shorter, it's still, you have to look for them, so.
Yeah, and I believe on our the original one, I think Nate had made, this up. That was
Yeah,
easy
the
to get
table
to. And
I will be replacing that table as well with not having that table there. It has different numbers than the currently proposed one, which is interesting. It's different in the table than up there, but I think that's probably because of some sort of changes that were made and they just didn't reflect it. I don't even know, that was before I was on the board that was on there, so. But that was a confusing part, is that there's a couple of numbers that are even different right now for class 1. That's, okay, and then the other thing that I was really trying to do is simplify the class 1, because there's just some stuff that I did not feel was necessary for the small, personal solar installations that, you really just don't have to worry about for that, but that you might have to worry about for the really large that cover a lot of land. So they're a lot simpler, and so should be less kind of overreach on that one. I will make a note for the noise. The wind regulations have it at 60 decibels, but it doesn't say I don't think it has the language that LA, EQ, all that 10 minutes or 1 hour, which is basically just average it out. They have it at 60 decibels. I did this one at 50. I don't know if we'd want to make those the same, because I don't know why one would be quieter or louder than the other as far as what we'd regulate. But, the 10-minute, I chose that rather than the hour because for the sound, because it's easier to test. You only need a 10-minute interval to test it versus an hour. And also over an hour, if there's a sharp, obviously I don't think this is an issue for solar, but might as well just throw it in there. But for 10 minutes, if there's like a big spike right there, it doesn't average out as like flat as it would over an hour. So it's sort of a little bit, I could say stronger protections, although probably unnecessary in this case, in this scenario.
Daniel, have you gave any thought then to, I know we've had a couple conversations about this over the past months. As we go back and revisit where we were at, and, roughly a year ago, we had sent the regs back down to the zoning, asking for them, and then they sent them back to us. And then we checked with our zoning, darn it, can't even think of it.
Marvin Planning?
Marvin Planning, yes. And they felt like whatever changes we made at this time were our changes, because they had looked at them, sent them forward, we sent them back, they sent the same forward. So we foresee that process happening, right? That we don't send anything back anymore. Or-
Yeah, I would say it will greatly depend on what we end up with. I would say that what Joe has proposed here, I would feel very uncomfortable just passing it by this board. As much as it's changed, I think it would absolutely have to go back to the zoning board, because it looks nothing like what they have proposed. So I think it depends. If we make minor changes and maybe tweak a setback or two, if that's what this board feels we have to do in order to pass it, then I would think that we could probably have our own public hearing and pass it. If the majority of this board feels that they agree with Joe and want to adopt what he has proposed, I really would have trouble just putting it out there and voting without getting some sort of feedback from the zoning board. The setbacks here have been shrunk by more than 80%. And and if the majority of this board sides with the one that was just given to us, then I really feel that it would have to go back to the zoning board. That's my
Okay.
personal feeling. If we, if we find agreement on what the zoning board has proposed, then I feel that we can definitely move forward with minor interaction. But I think that the more we start changing what they've give to us, I think we need to have their input in.
And I
That
think there
would
is
be
a
my
balancing act to
Yeah.
that, because if we do, as I was looking at the different classes, and if we say, oh, we're gonna do away with that and change that, then we do fly in the face of why do we even have them?
Right.
Other than state statute says we have to have them. I agree with you on that point there, that if we totally change it, because whether I think there should be 3 classes or 4 classes, that's what they recommended. And the first 2 classes they recommended were by administration approval anyway, which, if you meet the criteria, it's good to go. Is it cumbersome? It could be a little bit, but I think the main thing we're diving into is really what we feel like the setbacks should be for the large, very large commercial. And if we do those changes, I don't know that we'll have to send it back to them.
Right. I would agree.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering what your point was on that.
I do think if we stick with their baseline regulations and just changing some setback stuff, I agree with you guys. I still think at that point, due to the time between a public hearing, I don't feel a public hearing can't not happen again.
I would agree. I feel we're at the point where.
Well, it
no matter
can, but we
if
probably should do one.
Right.
It can
If
happen.
we make
without
any
public-
changes,
Anything.
correct.
Correct.
At the very least, we as a board of commissioners have to have a public hearing.
Right.
That's probably what I would recommend. But, But yeah, anyway, I think you're right. Obviously the big one on everyone's mind, this whole process has just been the setbacks for the big one. I think that other structural changes should be made to the document. Clearly, that's why I put work into this and have brought it before you. But yeah, if you feel we need to, I'd advise against sending it back, but you know, that's just me.
Okay.
And we don't have to, by the way. Definitely could though.
So then I think that as we have these conversations, and whether we have them in this room publicly or whether we get together one-on-one to say, hey, where's everybody at? I think it would be a wise idea to obviously allow Deb the time she needs to feel comfortable with the vote she has to make, but start to set in on, and maybe some of us that's been on it longer have already set in on, this is what I'd like to see, and bring those forward, and so we all know.
Right.
And we can do some negotiating or what, because as we know, we're not gonna make everybody happy.
Right.
But we try to, and go that route, but I think that, you know, obviously Deb has taken it on, and she's gonna have another meeting this week, and then if she has any questions, she can always reach out to us individually to have those conversations too, but bringing those numbers forward
Right.
rather soon than later,
Yes, correct.
you know, so we can obviously get this behind us.
Yeah, I'm just saying
I would
that,
anticipate that this will be on the agenda again in 2 weeks.
Okay.
For discussion, possibly action, and see where we go from there. Okay.
I just brought this up because this is what I'm gonna be bringing forward. And then whether or not we want to vote in favor or against that, we'll see what happens, but I just wanted to get it out there, so.
Very good. All right. Before we move on, I'll just ask if anybody has anything else? Okay. All right, very good.
And there's an
Yeah.
email that came from Mary
Okay.
with Lori. She says she's in Lincoln today, so I don't
Oh,
know.
okay, very good.
Unless her plans have changed.
Right. So let's see.
I did reach out to her too, by the way. She said it's one we get reauthorized every 3 years. It's an online process, and then DHS does an in-person review in a couple of weeks after we
Okay.
set forth. Yeah, we don't always remember these agreements that we do on a 3-year lapse, but it did look somewhat familiar.
Okay.
And it is one that we obviously have done in the past, and then they will come out, it sounds like, again too.
Very good. And I believe that Lori had proposed that this be authorization for herself, for Lori to go through and sign it. So thank you for giving us a little bit more information on that. What are the wishes for this?
Yeah, I guess reading through it again, it looks to me it's just an audit of our current services to further funding in the future, so I don't see any issues with it. I know when we did our safety audit out there of Lori's facility, everything was in good order there, and then I think the only issue we had was with our parking. We've done some work out there, so I would move to approve and authorizing Lori to sign the service agreement for DHHS.
Perfect, thank you.
I'd second that.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Bowman,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes,
Robertson,
Yes,
Gross.
Yes. Okay, let's go through committee reports, and then we'll have, commissioners will go into an executive session.
I guess I'll
Go
talk about the, like I say, the fire sprinkler just a little bit longer. I've been in contact with Steve over the last couple days, trying to get Mahoney nailed down to give us where's the end coming. Their employee had reached out to Brian, and he was planning on coming out first part of the week, The corrections is very busy the first part of the week with stuff going on, I assume court or something that they said, well, let's hold off. So they should be here this week to finish up the SOFI. And then, of course, maybe getting this signed document, we'll get that back in front of them again to get that PIV valve done and get that. Talked to Brian yesterday a little bit about the addition, the probation office up there, and he was waiting on a second bid to come in on the carpet. The plumbing has been done, painting has been done, and once we get the second bid in for the carpet, he was gonna hit them up again yesterday, and then we'll hopefully get that project to the end and get that done. We had talked, me and Brian had talked briefly, the windows upstairs, we were gonna kind of wait till Steve had gotten done with the fire sprinkler and then maybe get him involved to give us some help on that and get going on the window project possibly for the upstairs. I know the leak at whatever caused the damage in the district or the courtroom, county court office apparently is somewhat subsided. I don't know that we have any more going on. And so it's probably gonna be, we couldn't get seals for the windows. So it's probably gonna be a window project that we're talking about, start going around and getting some done. So I assume that'd be, kind of expensive, but I think Steve at Davis Design has been a good hand on the other stuff that we've dealt with, and it's out of our expertise, and having somebody like that give us some help would probably be a good idea. The carpet project that we've been working on over the last year or better is down to public defender's room and the district and county court offices. Those offices have got to be moved out like we've done the other offices in the past. Well, then the files have got to be protected. I believe that there's been some conversation with county attorney's office to be able to utilize the one room that's open right now and get stuff moved in there where we can lock it up and then get those offices done and get that project to the finish line too. So those are some of the projects that are going on and where we're at right now. I did fill in and Four Corners, and I brought something back and talked to Gary just a little bit about possibly allowing, it would have to be through the interlocal agreement that us, Seward, Polk, and Butler have, but allowing a second to be able to vote at those meetings also. But it would have to be through this interlocal agreement that we currently have that states just one.
Yep.
And there wasn't really any pushback. Seward had some questions why. It was like, well, if you're not gonna be there and vote at this meeting, what's your incentive to really come? And then the county's not being represented. And so, and life gets in the way. I mean, we have multiple meetings and different things go on.
Yeah.
So there was, Joe, a schedule for the meetings for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Did you get that?
they sent out some emails. I don't know if I got all of them, but I definitely got some of them, so.
Okay.
And I can always, I met with, Laura later in this last week or whatever.
Okay.
Get a tour of the office and sort of talk about the organization and what you guys talked about in the meeting as well.
Okay.
So,
They were excited to meet the new commissioner and then they got stuck with me one last meeting. So what a letdown it was for them. But, so anyhow, yeah, Joe will take over for that. But I still think that it's a good idea just to have a second, just in case, that way we're still represented.
yeah, and that board is not as large as some of the other committees as well. It's like 10 members if you have everyone there, whereas some of them are like 20 or 30
Right.
plus, so.
Other than that, that's pretty much, we didn't have visitors because of lack of agenda items, so we will have that this coming month and just everything else. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I haven't been to any meetings since this last of our meetings, but next Monday will be the Region 5 board. And Thursday of this week is the first Thursday. So anything you guys want me to share locally on that venue, let me know. Other than we're having conversations, I don't know that there's anything big to report, so. But that's what I've been up to, other than my local meetings that I'm attending here to try to learn more about my role here.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks. Joe?
For Blue Valley Community Action, we had an exciting meeting where we went over the audit.
Mhm.
So, but it is good though, because they didn't, weren't any flags to bring out there and say something's wrong. So everything was in order, didn't find anything wrong. And I will say, to be an organization that primarily works with like federal grants and to just kind of work pretty smoothly through, ups and downs and federal government shutdowns or delays and all that stuff, but still be able to manage your finances and have cash flow the whole time. They're juggling a lot of things. So I think they're doing a pretty good job on that, considering they're still able to offer their services and whatever else to folks that really do need them. So yeah, it was good news, I guess.
Andy?
All right, last Wednesday, we had a veterans meeting, which was nice because Nick was able to attend even though he was on orders. Nick is no longer in the country right now. So Mary Beth is gonna be taking on the full-time role in that office. If events arise where she's gonna need to be gone, we're gonna try to do our darndest to communicate that through Facebook, through the website as much as possible. One thing that did come out of that meeting was they were unable to get her enrolled in her veteran service training, the virtual one. The deadline was too close. We weren't able to enroll in that. Unfortunately, there's only 3 times a year you can get certified on that program. There's the virtual one that we missed. There's an online training coming up end of May, or not an online, an in-person training. And then the next online virtual training would not be till the end of the following October. The Veterans Committee voted to send her to the in-person one. I think that's wise. They do service a ton of people, and not just in New York County, but they also take a lot of phone calls from other counties, Fillmore especially, since Nick serves a day down there. In the meantime, Mary Beth does have good contacts with the Buffalo County VSO, who used to be the Seward County VSO, so they've got a really good working relationship with that gentleman out there. So we don't anticipate any services being affected, but it may be a day or two hiccup there, here or there, once in a while. So other than that, that's pretty much it for veterans. Spent a lot of time again with the roads department on the phone and a couple in-person meetings out there. A little bit of talking about employee shuffle with what we have going on with where we're short people, with what we got facing us with retirement, just trying to stay ahead of the training curve for one, making sure we have the people we need to get the projects done. And then putting the right butts in the right seats so we're the most efficient with what we have to work with. So I guess that's what I got from roads.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So yeah, Andy already touched on roads, and so been out there. The other thing that I have would be continuing interviews for emergency manager. We've interviewed a number of candidates. We've done a few second rounds. We'll continue that process till we find the right solution for York County's emergency manager. Not a whole lot for me other than that.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
From that list that was generated of the committee assignments,
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be on veterans, and I hear they met, and I don't know anything about it. So
Okay,
how
very
what do I need to do, or what happens?
very good.
And then
We'll make
aging
sure
is
that you
another
get-
group that I'm supposed to be on, and I haven't heard anything from them either.
So they communicate everything over text, since most of their members don't, a lot of their members don't have access to computers. So it's as simple as after the meeting, going across the hall and introducing yourself and make sure Mary Beth has your phone number.
Okay. I was given no instruction, and so the Region 5 group reached out to me, so I just assumed, and that was my fault, so I'm sorry for that.
Would you say that a little more?
AG.
Oh, but you've been in contact with Lori? No? Okay.
I can be. If it's up to me, I'll take care of it. I was waiting for,
Yeah, we'll
We'll get
make
that.
those happen.
thank you.
Lindsay, anything from your perspective today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All the election candidates will have been filed for the primary. That deadline was yesterday, so just plugging along with that.
Perfect. All right, that brings us to the end of the agenda. I would look for a motion to go into executive session with the 5 commissioners for needless harm to an individual at 9:13.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Perfect. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Obermeyer,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Gross.
Daniel, I'm sorry, is it okay if I ask the clerk's office to make more copies of this?
Yeah, go ahead.
8, 9,
Is that okay?
6, 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be a couple, there should be at least 4 extras, I thought.
Here, there
But
was-
we'll make some-
Yeah, we're just.
He's emailing it out.
I'm gonna email it out to
I
all
want
of
to
them.
red line copy for.
All right.
Happy your day.
Can you get a copy?
You bet.
Yes, okay. I passed them down, we have like 10 of them with the rest.
I'll
make- I'll
have
So.
so.
I'll just make copies for everybody.
Is
Okay,
there-
right now?
Hey,
Okay, the clerk's office is gonna have.
you want to send me your email again?
What's that?
Take that
Is
one.
there,
We have-
you have to
Send me your email.
double click
Okay.
start it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
and
we
then,
learned that you can actually hit play
Oh.
too, so.
anyway, yeah.
I mean, I talked to people this whole time, this is basically sort of bringing in the.
We're,
Oh, no, I didn't, so I've talked to some people at Lancaster, that was a while ago, but I was looking at their zoning regulations, and I was looking at, obviously, ours are current one, the proposed one, is from Gage County, that's.
Our house is
it's
so
copy.
big, right?
yeah,
I look at Lancaster, I look at Fillmore,
I
wanna say?
Well,
yeah.
I've got a head cold.
Yeah.
Some of them have researched this.
Oh, yeah,
You're gonna get it if I get it. We look at the same doorknobs.
Ah,
well, yeah, I've talked to people. that
If you wanna
sign
get
on,
together
people that sign on.
later,
Okay.
just let me know.
Yeah.
okay, is he out there?
He's back down south grading, so,
Okay, all right, very good.
so,
Yeah,
yeah, we
honestly,
didn't,
I think that,
we're gonna wait till
if
next
we had
week
done-
for that Road 12, the imminent rain coming.
I think that
Yeah.
if we do end up.
Right.
Hopefully.
We'll do a
So,
public hearing.
We'll start on that on Tuesday when he's back.
Down the hill, so yes.
I think we should make
Yeah.
sure that.
Yeah.
All right, just give me a shout.
Considering
Thanks.
the acreages,
Yeah, so,
property rights.
there's a 1%, acreage cap was something we've talked about, that no solar farm, the total of all solar farms should not be more than 1%, maximum of the whole county's agricultural acreage. So that was one thing that we talked
No, I'm
about.
considering setback.
Oh, setbacks.
Solar farm.
Yeah.
Are you just considering the landowners that are?
There
What are signed on?
yeah.
Oh, I'm considering both, that's why we have a lot of the protections and the non-participating setbacks, yeah.
But there's like 24 acreages down there, we're considering their rights to eat that.
It's all in consideration.
For sure, have a copy of that.
I think they were making a few more.
Yeah.
Here, you can have this one. If you're gonna,
Yeah, I'm gonna send it out to all you guys, and Mary will print out extras if you want to print everything.
there you go, Barry. It's got an unattached sheet, so just don't.
That's not really part of it, that's just a summary of the numbers.
Oh, okay. She says the owl's still on.
Yep, I'll turn it off.
Okay, I'm sending Lori an
And
email
stream.
also to reach out to you. You're gonna be